Today on Pinball Workshop, we're talking about strippers. This is what my life has come to. Talking about strippers. Okay, let's get started. So today we're talking about wire strippers. The first thing I will tell you is, if you have these, find your nearest trash can and throw them away. You see these, the wonderful brand Durabuild here. You see these pop up all the time. I always get handed these when I ask for a pair of wire strippers from a friend, and then I mock them openly. These are, I would rather use a knife than use these. So take these. That's me throwing them across the workshop because we're not going to use them. Here are two great brands that you'll find either at your local hobby store. I would usually say Radio Shack, but they, RIP, they don't exist anymore. Or at your local hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot. And I think both of these have their pros and their cons. And I definitely want to kind of show some of the key things that I think is important about when it comes to wire strippers, what is ultimately important, and what works best from a pinball perspective. So first, I'm going to turn to these. These were my first love, and these are a wire stripper. You will see here that there are teeth in here that are listed with your AWG number. Let me turn this way so we can read. All the way from 10 gauge up to 22 gauge. So I find these to be great. What you'll see here is that when you press the action, you'll see that not only do the two piece one to hold and then the piece for the wire comes down, but then the head actually separates. So these were the first wire strippers I ever bought. I still use them today. These are my go-to wire strippers that I pick out first, and this is the reason why. So what I'll show here is this is a piece of 16 gauge black stranded wire. I can just drop this in the right 16 gauge. You see that it grabs the wire, and then this black back piece grabs, and then just with a very simple motion, boom, there's our wire. We're ready to tin it or, to take it to our next step, but we have a perfect cut. We don't have any extra insulation that could get burned when we hit our soldering iron. It's just really, really clean. I really like this, and I think it shows why this is so great. Now, the other thing I like to show is I'm going to move up in the AWG scale. That was 16 gauge here. Now we're moving up to 20 AWG. So just can drop that right into the 18 to 20. It actually holds it. It's a little firm. This backstop kind of comes down to grab the wire, and then just boom. Right there again. Nice clean cut. We don't have any extra insulation that is causing us to be any issue. Give this a quick twist, and we're ready to go to tin this wire or to place this back onto a leaf switch from that nature. So, we'll even go down as far as Cat 5 cable. So this is 22 AWG, which is about as far as these guys can go. It actually has a little bit of an inside one here for 22, just at the very top. Again, holds it, grabs it, pull. And oops, that didn't work. All right, let me try this one. So it holds it, grabs it, and pull. And there we go. 22 AWG right there. Nice and clean. Works very, very well. So I cannot remember the brand of these. They say they are Gardner Bender, or GB as we read here. I could not have told you that until I start making this video. But these are great. There's a lot of different variations. There's probably a lot of different manufacturers of these. But in terms of just a wire stripper, I'm really fond of these. These are I have an emotional connection to these wire strippers. But moving on, I actually got these relatively recently, and these are from Vice Grip. So I will put a link down there as well. But also with Vice Grip, it can also do wire stripping from 10 to 24 AWG. And the way that works is it's very, very similar, where if you make the action to occur, I'll move it this way, you'll see that you'll get a grab and a pull. Now, the one thing that's a little bit different about these is that it will do any sort of wire. There's no selecting the right place or selecting the right area to grab. It will just grab it and sense the wire appropriately. So let's go back here. Here's our 16 AWG. I drop that right here. You'll see that it holds it. It's nice and taut. And then if I just pull, there's our wire. Very, very nice. Again, works really well. I find that the vice grips work better on what I call, I guess, lower gauge or higher gauge, the lower number. So, 10, 11, 12, 16, 18. These work really, really well. I find they don't work as well when you get into the 20, above 20 to 24. And then when you get to 26, it's, all bets are off at that point at wire wrap level. But you see here, this worked really great from that. Let's move up to, here's 20 AWG. And this wire is a little kinked there. So just drop that in there. You'll see that it grabs it with just a little bit of pressure. And then I just can give that a pull. Actually, that doesn't want to grab. Look at there. I found a bug. So yeah, that's not wanting to work very well here. So let me look here to see if I said anything wrong. But yeah, it's not wanting to grab that wire appropriately. There we go. Because I just didn't have it all the way in the back. So you see here, I just did one here where I did a middle crimp, which again, I think these work really nice as well. So now if you needed to take this wire, if you needed to bend it over and to maybe get a terminal there on the end, you can do a middle crimp, and that works very well. So let's do that in crimp again, since I didn't get it working a moment ago. So just quickly cut this wire. Let's drop that wire all the way in the back. Pull it nice and taut. There we go. There's a nice wire. So I said, I like this. I find that it doesn't work as great on the higher gauge numbered wire. So really anything from 22, 24, I don't have as much luck. I could be doing something wrong, but I've not had a ton of luck on that. So let's just try this Cat 5 here. So we've got our Cat 5 wire, which is 22 AWG. If I grab it in there and give it a quick pull, you see that it also cut it off and then left us a little bit there. So again, leave me a comment below if you say, hey, you're doing something wrong, Adam. You should be doing it this way. I'll take a look at that and see if I can adjust. Now, the one thing that this vice grip can do that this guy cannot is that it does use as a insulated crimper down here at the bottom. So you see the yellow, blue, and red there. So what you can do if you have your crimpers, so I do use these in pinball machines, specifically maybe around bridge rectifiers or fuse holders. I can just drop my wire into here and then just very easily put my crimper into, a little hard to hold. Just drop it here on the top. Drop in my crimper in there and then just give that a squeeze. And there we go. Oh, it's supposed to stay in and it didn't. All right. Let's do that again. Back to the parts bin. All right. I grabbed the right size and not the wrong one this time. So again, a little bit different. I'm going to drop this in, nice and taut. Put this into the crimper. Make sure it's actually grabbing the wire this time, which is important. Give it a nice squeeze, and there we go. Now it's nice and tight. So even I screw up on more than one occasion. Final thing that the vice grip does, again, that this one doesn't do in terms of being an all-in-one tool, is that you can put the wire all the way in the back end, give it a nice little cut, and it will cut the wire. So then you can actually take that wire that you just cut, re-crimp it, and re-strip it, and you're ready to go. So the vice grip's got a lot of things going for it. This is more what I'll use if I have like my go bag and I want to put a wire stripper in to take to a friend's house. This can replace 2 or 3 tools in that luggage bag or that go bag. So this is something that I usually keep in there, but I think it's really important to see the difference. This is the one that I'm most used to, and I've always been a fan of this type of stripper. So whatever you do, you really can't go wrong between these two strippers. I'll leave links in the description below about where to buy these. Feel free to check those out. If you have a favorite wire stripper that you've used, definitely let me know. Happy to continue to grow my collection of strippers that don't include this, the redheaded stepchild. Look at this piece of crap. Ugh, it's terrible. Hang on, I'm throwing it again. That's how much I hate that. All right. Feel free to like, comment, or subscribe to the channel if you know anybody else that'd be interested in learning about pinball and pinball maintenance and repair, including learning about strippers. Please let them know. And thank you.